Rosie, I'm going to put the oil in the pan straight away because I want to get started, but I'm going to make a Thai-style stir-fry with rice noodles. Now, instead of using beef, which is normally used for this dish, I'm going to use some fish. I'm going to marinate some fish and some mussels and some clams. It is delicious, but to begin with, I've got some garlic and some ginger. You can see the ginger.
Oh, little matchsticks of ginger.
It's nice and fine like that.
Only your chopping could do that.
Only my chopper can do this, you're right. And I've got some garlic sliced nice and thin as well. Into the pan it goes, and you can see that starting to sizzle off. If you want, you can add just a little bit more oil. I'm using good, actually excellent extra virgin olive oil, Australian extra virgin olive oil, and that's what gives it flavour. Now, we're going to marinate the fish. If you grab that fish there, it's actually hapuka, and I'm going to put some sweet soy, which is nice and thick, and we'll put a nice big dollop of that there. Probably about 2 tablespoons, I think, Rosie, in there. And that'll give it some real beautiful caramelised flavours and give it some darkness, which you'll see later on.
And traditionally there's gluten in, but there's now, sometimes you look out for it, there's gluten-free soy sauce as well.
Exactly. Well, I like that. And some sesame oil, just a little bit of that. It is quite strong. And some light soy. Some of that in there as well, which is nice and light, and it gives it lovely flavour.
Want me to mix this up?
I want you to mix that up, and I'll just slide this over there. If you can pop this over to that side there out of the way, and I'll stir this garlic and ginger around. Now, normally when I'm making a dish like this, I'd use a wok, but I'm not going to. I use this big pan here. Most people have a big non-stick fry pan in their kitchen, so that's what I like to use. And I find it's a great way of putting everything together in one pan, and it holds the heat really well.
Non-stick's definitely what you want with Thai cooking, isn't it?
I love non-stick. And the eggs go in straight away. I've got 3 large free-range eggs that go in here, and this is probably the base of it. This will give it some lovely flavour. It also stops the ginger and garlic from cooking. There we go. Pop these over here, and with my spatula, I just start to stir that around, and you can see the egg starts to cook. If you're in Thailand or some parts of Asia, you actually see them cooking like this. They'll fry the eggs to start with. Now, that's fantastic. I've got some coriander and some spring onion. If you can start chopping that nice and fine. Now, I've got some Asian broccoli here, and I just slice it all the way through here like this just to get these pieces off.
Asian broccoli, isn't that gorgeous?
I like that.
Yeah.
You don't need much of it, but really...
Handsome green, that is.
It is, and I chop the thick bits nice and fine, and the actual green bits at the end, the leafy bits, I leave nice and chunky. And that'll go straight into the pan. You can see this is starting to come together beautifully. And you stir that around. You can see the egg breaks up and goes all the way through. So just chop it up like that and move it to the side. This is the other reason why I like to use a big pan like this, because you can move all the stuff to the side and then pop the fish in. The fish will just go on the side there like that, and you'll see it start to sizzle, and it'll cook really quickly because it's cut nice and thin. You can do the same thing with prawns, with chicken, with beef, whatever you want. You can actually just marinate it and then pop it into the pan like this. You can see that's coming together beautifully. I will put a tiny bit of salt on there now, and I will put some pepper on there as well, because that's what makes it tasty. You like that?
Yeah. We're all about seasoning.
It is. Can you pass across the noodles and bring all that stuff over here? There we go.
Look at those lovely thick noodles.
Now, these are rice noodles, and these are fresh noodles. Often when we cook in this kitchen, we'll use the dried noodles and we pour the water over them. These are fresh noodles. You can make them, and maybe later on in the series I might make these, but they're actually just made from rice flour, and you can see they pull apart really easily. They usually put a little bit of oil on the outside, which helps them to peel apart nice and easily. Now, I'll pop these straight into the pan here like this. And I'm not going to put all of them because I don't want to overload the pan. A good handful is all you need. I've got some bean shoots as well. A few of them go on there, not too much. And I've got some wombok, which is some Asian cabbage. And this is nice and sweet and tasty. Pop that in there like that. And I'll just give that a bit of a toss around. Now, the trick with this dish is to actually let it sit in the bottom of the pan like this so that it actually burns a little bit. You want a little bit of that charred flavour. And that's where this last little bit of marinade comes in. Pop this in there, it'll go to the bottom, and you'll get that lovely sort of charred flavour.
That's true, there's always a little charring, isn't there, on the pad see ew noodle almost.
Exactly. Now, some mussels and some clams will go in there as well. And as this warms up, it'll sort of heat up and it'll come together beautifully. This will take a minute or so. We'll give this another little toss, and we'll pull it together. This will be delicious. Little toss, and you can see it's come up beautifully, nice and caramelised.
Yeah.
your spring onions and coriander go straight in there like that. You like that?
It looks better than my Thai man down the street from me.
It smells great as well. And I don't know about your Thai man down the street, but I reckon this is going to be really delicious. Now, I've got a big bowl here. This is a great dish to feed a whole lot of people. I'm just going to put it into the bowl here like this. I've got a whole heap of it there. I reckon I'll be able to pile all this in so it sits up nicely.
Yeah.
You can imagine, you know, a couple of dishes on the table. This would be one of those dishes that's sitting there. Great little dish, nice and simple, easy to put together.
Well, Chuck in, you say that, but I can also see you on a Friday night, movie night, have a bit of that, save it for the next day. It's fantastic.
I can tell you there'll be nothing left over after this.
Happy?
That is delicious, really flavoursome. The noodles are nice and slippery, and you can see they're really easy to cook. They char up beautifully, great flavour. Broccoli, seafood in there. This is a cracker.
Outstanding job.